Hi, Forkers. What do they do? What do you do on YouTube?
I do
Subscribe.
gaming.
They should subscribe.
What
them
do
subscribe.
I do? I subscribe on
Yeah,
YouTube.
thanks.
I didn't subscribe to him yet, but
Jesus, thanks a lot.
I subscribed to a movie one,
But not to this one. That's
No.
okay, I understand. So what are we doing? What are we going to do?
We're doing
A bit of a food challenge,
Yeah.
right? But not one of those crazy unhealthy ones
Yeah,
where we
where
try
it's
to eat
like-
like 200 McNuggets. We're not doing that. We're doing a health-based one because this is the former Fat Forker. We're going to take 4 different kinds of food and we're going to have roughly the same amount of calories within like 10 calories of each for the first meal of our day on 4 different days. We decided that the amount of calories would be
500.
500 calories. And what are the 4 different groups of foods that we've picked?
Tofu.
Now, the calorie breakdown, which we'll post right here, is 16% carbs, 44% fat, and 40% protein. The protein in this is huge. It's like 56 grams of protein. So if you're looking for a giant protein breakfast, this will do you. We're also doing 500 calories of
Oatmeal and cinnamon, but cinnamon's barely anything.
Cinnamon's barely anything. Oatmeal is interesting because it's probably the most balanced, the way your
Yeah.
diet should be in terms of all the food, where it's 70% carbs, 13% protein,
And
and 17% fat. So it's a bit closer to what you should be having.
And then we got apples.
Apples is another
Oh my
one.
God, that one's crazy.
Apples is bonkers. Okay, apples is 95% carbs.
2% protein and 4%. Wait, and that's
Fat.
101%.
Yeah.
How does that work?
No, it's not. It's 90. Well, it's probably like. Yeah, that math doesn't work out. Anyway, but it's mostly carbs. Let's just get it down to that. And last but not least,
We got nuts.
nuts. Now this one, as you can imagine, is 69% fat, 13% protein, and 18% carbs. So what's interesting here is we got one that's kind of balanced in terms of the general way we're supposed to eat with the oatmeal.
We have one that's not balanced at all.
2 that are really not balanced. I mean, the tofu is somewhat balanced. It's kind of like the fat and protein are pretty balanced, and then there's the carbs in there. The nuts are not very well balanced. It's mostly fat. And the apples are bonkers. So part of the thing of what we're trying to do is see, what kind of foods keep you fuller longer. So by eating about the same amount of calories of each, we're going to see how many hours later did we start getting hungry. Here's the other question I have.
What?
Can you eat 9 apples in one sitting? The nuts are going to be like 3 ounces and a bit. Like that's not even going to be a cup of nuts.
Wait, do we have to eat the nuts with the shell on them?
No.
I want to.
No, go for it. The extra fiber, I imagine. What are we going to start with? Come on, man. We planned this.
Oatmeal or nuts?
Oatmeal.
Annie's joining us. She wants to do it too, and she's got pretty much the same amount. She's got a little bit less than we do.
Yeah, she has
That's okay. It's still a lot. This is what roughly 500 calories of oatmeal looks like. It's full. It's just oatmeal and cinnamon and water. That's all we did. Do you think you'll be able to eat this whole bowl of oatmeal?
No. Maybe.
Maybe?
I might. I think I might eat about to there and then just
When I used to be at my heaviest, I would have a...
half of it.
Yeah, when I was at my heaviest, some mornings I would have like a cup of uncooked, so that would be like 2 cups cooked, which is still about half of this. This is not an eat until you're sick challenge. Part of the point of this, we weighed the oatmeal before because we're going to stop when we're full, because that's what you should be doing when you're eating. Stop when you're full, and then we'll weigh it again and see how many calories we actually consumed. So it's 8:45 now. We'll see how long it takes us to eat. We'll see what time we stop eating. And we'll record that, and then we will... and then we'll see how long until we're hungry again. It's kind of... You done? Okay, so it was about 13 minutes have passed. I've finished mine. There was a moment there where I wasn't sure if I was, but I did check in with myself to make sure that I was still hungry. Annie's is... She made a little bit less, but Annie's is pretty She can see the bottom of the bowl.
I would keep on eating this if there was maple syrup in this.
Yeah, so how's it tasting, guys, now that you've eaten...
I'm never eating oatmeal again.
I think you will.
I just had a burp.
That's okay. You gotta make room. Here's a good thing people don't think about. They just kind of shovel food in and shovel food in. It's good to take a moment and just kind of sit and go and feel your stomach and feel your full. Because you should stop eating right when you start to feel a little bit of full, because your stomach is anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes behind you. And so it starts to send out signals when it's full, and if you're still eating, the signals don't come until you've already eaten more. So now
I think I'm tapping out.
you're tapping out? So you ate over a pound of oatmeal, eh? Okay, Efi is tapped out. It's around 9:05. We all stopped around 9 o'clock, we're gonna say.
Oh, I ate like 2 pounds.
This chucklehead only made it about an hour before he said he was hungry. He was walking around ho-humming, going, am I hungry? Am I not hungry? So he had an apple. She lasted about 2, as you can see, she's eating a sandwich now. She lasted at least 2 hours, and then he had like, what, a handful of popcorn? Basically
Way
what
more
he
than a
had.
handful.
2.5 hours later, I'm still full. I don't know. I'm sure like in an hour I'll probably have my lunch. I'll let you know next time we start up, and it'll be part of the blog post as well, how long I actually lasted. But these two chuckleheads didn't last. That said, I ate more than they did. Let's look at those numbers as well, because I did the math, and I think I did it properly. So how much? I ate 500 calories. I ate the whole amount. How much do you think you ate?
430.
Ephraim, you ate 344 calories worth of oatmeal.
Okay.
Okay? Annie ate 268. This was good for me. This was perfect for me. It's like I'll probably eat right around the time I would normally eat, and so I'm good to go. And for you guys, it was kind of typical too, I think, right? Would you say that was pretty typical for how full you are in the morning?
She ate 244.
So oatmeal is good. It's like not that anyone wants to eat 500 calories of oatmeal in one sitting, because it was kind of... Did you guys enjoy that as a breakfast? No.
If there's maple syrup in there,
No.
I would eat it.
Yeah, you'd want less oatmeal, and you'd want to put some fruit or some maple syrup in it, right? Yeah. So there we go. So it works. You could get away with that as a 500 calorie breakfast, but maybe mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah, don't put that much.
What are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do next week?
Nuts.
No, let's save nuts and do that last.
Oh, yeah.
Tofu? Let's do tofu. So the kids wanted baked tofu with toppings. I wanted scrambled. This is what 500 calories of baked tofu looks like, roughly. This is what 500 calories of scrambled looks like. We're having just under 500 each because we're all giving ourselves some toppings. The kids, I think, are going to switch between mustard and ketchup
And
salsa. And I'm going to throw some salsa in. I also threw a little bit of nutritional yeast in mine. Just about 15, 20 calories worth. I bet you guys can get through at least half.
Me too.
yeah.
Do you think you can get through the whole thing, though?
No.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
I think they can. I bet you they can get. I imagine I'm going to be able to eat the whole thing. So that'd be interesting though, because you guys couldn't get through all the oatmeal last week. It'd be interesting if you eat all of this or most of it, and then you're not hungry again. Because last week when we had the oatmeal, you guys were hungry like an hour or 2 hours later, right? And I lasted 4 hours because I ate the whole thing. So let's find out. All right, time to eat. Okay, so I finished all mine. Evie finished all his, although you forced yourself a little bit. And Annie, to my shock, is on her last piece. I did not expect either of them to eat the whole amount, especially her. When we did oatmeal last week, she ate just a little over half of the 500 calories, and he ate about 2/3. So, how was it? You're full. Yeah. And how are you doing? You want more? There's more in the kitchen.
No.
Let's go.
No. Okay, so what do you think? Do you feel like you're going to be full for a long time? And he's gone. She's tapping out. Are you really going to get more?
No.
Don't eat more.
Don't eat
No,
more.
don't. The experiment is 500 calories. I'll let you know what the wrap-up was, how long we all lasted before we got hungry again, because we're all running around today. So I'll do that as part of a wrap-up video. So in terms of the tofu, we all finished it all, but then we were all kind of hungry about like an hour and a half later. We all stuck it out, but by 2 hours later, we were all starving and ready for lunch. So that's interesting to me in the sense that the kids ate way less oatmeal and stayed full for around the same amount of time, or longer, really. So in terms of the tofu versus the oatmeal was far superior in keeping them fuller longer based on the amount. Next up, apples. So our food's not out yet because I kind of wanted to surprise the kids with it. So apples of all the foods we're having
We're all not going to finish it.
is the least amount of calories per food. So you get a lot of food. So the question is, can we eat 500 calories of apples before we're full? And then if we don't, how long will we feel full for? Everyone has their own portion.
Ah!
And open.
Whoa!
Wait,
That's 500 calories of apples. So, we're going to see how much we can eat. We're allowed to have cinnamon with them. How many of these do you think you can eat?
5.
5? I had a giant workout this morning. I had like a 700 calorie workout this morning. Not a great thing to do before eating mostly just carbs. I think this is a bad week for me to time this out, but that's how it worked. I'm probably going to eat them all, but I don't know. Maybe even I won't.
I think only 4.
You think you'll get through 4? We'll find out. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so I finished all of them, and I was mixed feelings. I kind of still felt hungry, but now I'm feeling full-ish. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Annie is tapping out. She has about 3.5 apples left, so we're going to see how much that is in weight. Let's see what happens. The kids have abandoned me.
I'm just washing my hands.
Abandoned.
I'm just washing my hands. Jeez.
They abandoned me. So I ate all of the apples. Ephraim had about 8 of them, so he ate almost the whole amount. I'd say he ate 420 calories or so worth. Annie had about a third left, so we can say she ate about 300 or so calories of the apples. We were full for a while, but 2 hours later we were totally hungry. So again, not an amazing sustaining meal over the course of that amount of time between meals. So what do we got this week, guys? It's our final week.
Nuts.
You've already started. We have 500 calories of nuts. And so nuts are very high in fat, ish in protein, and there's like almost no carbs in them, right? So let's see what's our prediction on this? We've all got a different variety of nuts. It's 500 calories in total. The kids both have 100 calories worth of pistachios. Annie has an additional 200 in peanuts and 200 in cashews. You've got an additional 200 in macadamia, and what was the other one you picked?
Peanuts.
Peanuts as well. And I have 100 calories each of macadamia, cashews, walnuts, tiger nuts, and peanuts. What's your prediction, guys? Do you think you'll be able to eat them all, you think? It's only a cup's worth, really. You can see. You saw our apple plates last week. I think you'll be able to eat them all. So then the question is, how long until you're hungry again? What do you think? What's your prediction? Think this will like fill you up for 3 hours? They say a meal should keep you full for at least 3 hours. Do you think this will last 3 hours? No. What's your prediction?
An hour.
An hour and then you'll be hungry again? Let's keep track. So how you guys feeling? You've been done eating for 10 minutes now. Are you starting to feel full at all? I'm just putting the time in.
Full.
Are you? Yeah? How are you, Annie? I'm feeling like I'm not hungry, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was good.
You weren't even sure you wanted to finish them all.
Mm-hmm.
Did I pressure you into it? Is that a bad move? Okay. Let's see if we get at least a solid 2 hours out of this, because we're going to see a movie at noon, so we should have a little meal before we go. But let's see how we feel in a couple
I'm probably
hours.
gonna buy something there.
These things happen. So as I kind of thought, we all ate all the nuts because it's really only a cup worth of nuts. It's not that much. And we were full after we ate them. We felt really full for like an hour, hour and a half. But around 2 hours later, our stomach started to churn and we desperately needed more food. As the one person who ate the full 500 calories of each meal, of each kind of meal, I will say that the oatmeal made me full the longest. And probably that's also because it had the most complete nutritional profile amongst the 4 different groups. It was the most balanced of the 4. I felt full for a good 4 hours after the oatmeal, or pretty much all the other meals. I was ready to eat again 2 hours later, if not a little bit more. So yeah, so of those 4 foods, oatmeal was the best breakfast. I love oatmeal. I have oatmeal all the time. So this is a weird, wonky experiment. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what I was trying to prove. I just thought it'd be interesting with the kids to help them understand the difference between nutrient density in different kinds of foods and just showing that a calorie is not just a calorie. 500 calories of this kind of food will not fill you the way this one will. So I hope this is interesting to you. Come back. We'll do more fun stuff, probably with the kids every now and then. Do all the things, subscribe, share this video if you thought it was interesting. Check out the website for lots of tips and articles and recipes. And we'll see you very soon. Smash stuff into your life.